What is up, guys? Welcome to another edition of Market Marauders. Being the market, one trade at a time. The Market Marauders investment channel helps you to find the best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in. Make sure that thumbs up definitely helps the YouTube algorithm promote the videos. All right, so today I'll be talking about some earnings coming up this week as well as my options. So all of these stocks are going to be my Webull option picks for the week. And then also going to be talking about these three because they have earnings coming up. So I'm going to give my basic small analysis of each one as well as some catalyst for their movement. So hope everybody had a great week. So let's jump into it. So first on here we have ticker sign GM for General Motors. They ended the week at $54.41. After hours, they rallied up and went up 64 more cents and at 55. 05. We can see they are bullish. Some of my indicators for bullish, if you're new to the channels, moving average 10 is above 50 and 100, and VWAP is above moving average 10. So VWAP being this lime green line right here, moving average 10 this red line, moving average 50 is this yellow line, and moving average 100 is this purple line. So this is the 30-minute chart interval, so that's the time frame that I like to use. If you'd like to sign up for Webull, which is the platform that I'm using right now, and get 4 free stocks when you deposit $100 or more, I have a link down below in the description where you can do so. So I like to use Webull because they have lots of really good information, lots of good charts, and it's pretty intuitive once you get the grips of it. So on here we can see that they are bullish. Moving average 10 is above 50 and 100. One metric that they will have to hit though is this 55.05 level. They'll definitely have to test that one. But one other level I'm looking at is this 55.97 that they hit back in January the 21st. So this seems to be the high, in my opinion, definitely a catalyst for or a resistance that they're going to have to test again, especially at the levels that they currently are at. So background on them, this is just some of the stuff they're doing. This is all public information from the press releases. Just says that they invested 75 million in Toledo transmission plant. They're teaming up with Will Ferrell to do an ad for the Super Bowl. So this is one of their new Cadillacs that are up there, which I think all GM products look really nice. Merchant Fleet is slated to be BrightDrop's second major customer. So if you're not familiar with what BrightDrop is, GM is going into the electric, I guess, utility vehicle franchise, so they're going to be doing electric delivery vans basically. Their first customer was FedEx Express, so it says their second customer is going to be Merchants Fleet. So they're definitely expanding their electrical vehicle capabilities and definitely doing it by leaps and bounds. So I think GM definitely has something on their hands. Positive with that, the growth of EV is continuing to grow as time goes on, and I think GM is taking the right direction in expanding that section of their company. So I'm definitely interested to see how they continue to grow and what other customers they get. This is again talking about the Super Bowl ad. And it says GM, the largest U.S. automaker, plans to be carbon neutral by 2040. So they're doing the carbon neutral pledge as well. And then the big news, they're going to be doing their earnings. So this is the press release for their earnings. So a lot of good big moves. Definitely going to be looking at this. Keeping an eye out for the Super Bowl ad. I think Will Ferrell's pretty funny, so it should be a good one to watch. And also showing off this looks pretty slick Cadillac that they have here. So um, for the earnings is going to be on February 10th. So just bear that in mind. It is free to the public. It says please dial at least 15 minutes in advance to ensure timely connection to the call. So they explain all things that's going on. If you're new to investing, there's a lot of good information that comes from these earnings. So I encourage everybody, to listen to it. Good information. They might, talk about BrightDrop. I think that's what the name of it. Yeah, BrightDrop's expansion some more, and their projections on expanding their EV line, which will definitely be good in the future. They're kind of doing what another company is doing as well. So another company that focuses in that same niche, I would have to say is Workhorse. So Workhorse was slated to have a contract with USPS, which kind of got shelved. It didn't really go through. But with this Biden administration and a lot of companies going carbon neutral by 2040, I think there'll be more and more companies in the vehicle or automotive space going carbon neutral, as well as doing this switch over to EV. So definitely keep an eye out on that company, Workhorse, and more updates from GM. With all that being said, going into the earnings side for GM, going to be looking at, the option side for GM, going to be looking at March 19th, 2021 as an expiration, and definitely going to be looking at this time frame right here. So I have the strike set at 10. Let's go to all. So it's basically just going to switch it out to all. So I think between these two ranges right here, 55 and 60, is going to be a good strike price for a call. So a call, in my opinion, if you're not familiar with what options are, a call is you believe stock's going to go up. A put is you believe that it's going to go down. So you'll see that if you're new or switching over from Robinhood, or if you haven't used Webull before, the left-hand side is the calls, right-hand side is the puts. The bid is the ask price. The bid is the buy price, so that is to buy a call. Ask is to sell a call. So it's the same on here. Buy a put, sell a put. It's the bid and ask, and they have all the strike prices right here, out in front of you. So I think between 55 to 60 is a good range. And you're looking to pay between $355 per contract to $190 per contract. So not too expensive as far as those are concerned, and they're quite a bit being sold. Looks like they're 71 of the $55 strike price, and 10 of the $60 strike price. So bear in mind, this is all for educational purposes. I'm not telling you what stock to invest in. You could do that on your own. If you'd like to contact a certified CPA, do so in your local area. This is just all for educational purposes. So just bear that in mind. These are just a watch list that I'm going to be looking at for next week for potential options trading. Next on here we have ticker sign TWTR for Twitter. Now Twitter has had a pretty, I guess, fluctuated, I guess is the way I can say it, stock price. So they kind of went down after the whole Trump situation, where they banned Trump from Twitter. So they kind of went down after. They kind of went down after that, but have kind of started to recover since then. Overall, the stock price has been pretty bullish for the most part. We can see it. They had a high of 57.44, so that is their week high, which I think is a pretty good level for them. They ended the week at $56.78. Then after hours went up 27 more cents to end at 57.05. So they are bullish. Moving average 10, which is red line, is above the yellow and purple, which is the 50 and 100. So moving average 10 is above 50 and 100. VWAP is below moving average 10, but it is very close to moving average 10. So I think it most likely will cross in the morning on Monday when the market opens, especially considering it had a small 27-cent rally after hours. Now, they are having an earnings as well. Like I stated beforehand, theirs is going to be on February 9th. And the same thing will apply. They actually have a link right here which you can click on, and then go and listen to all the different things that Twitter is going to be announcing, as well as their financials. One metric to consider when looking at Twitter is their number of users. So I like to see how many users they have gained quarter over quarter or year over year, to see if the platform in general is growing. Now I know a lot of people use Twitter. Last presidency that we had, in my opinion, showed the growth of Twitter. There are more people on Twitter than ever, in my opinion, and I was just shocked at how many people actually have Twitter profiles. But to me, Twitter is kind of becoming the new Facebook, which I know that's kind of a weird way to say it because Facebook is still around. But as far as, what updates are coming out, and different things, the way the market moves, I think Twitter is basically the source of it. You'll see, like, when Elon Musk posts something about Dogecoin, or he'll post something about Tesla, the stock prices or the market in general immediately moves. And he doesn't really post stuff on Facebook. So I think Twitter has become like the new social highway, where people can get information out, being important people who definitely can influence the way things work, or whether different information is coming out about the pandemic, or political information that comes out. you know Twitter seems to be the source of how information is conveyed over a social media platform like IG or like Facebook. Not to say that those are obsolete. I still think they have their value, but it seems like Twitter is the main way to do communication in this day and age. So definitely going to see the growth. I think that they're going to grow in general as a projection, and definitely seeing a lot more people moving to the Twitter platform for that reason. Now, with that being said, going to the options side of Twitter, I'm going to type in TWTR, which is their ticker. So if you're new to stocks, TWTR is just the ticker, which is how they're represented on the exchange. So if you're new to stocks, like overall, that's how, if you hear somebody refer to what is a stock's ticker, that is just how you look them up on the stock exchange. So if you go and Google, you can just Google TWTR, and it should give you the current price whatever time you watch. So if you're watching a video and you're like, I wonder what the current price is. If it was an old video, just go on Google and type in TWTR, and it'll give you the current price at the exact time that you look it up. So for the Twitter side, I'm gonna go with this March 19th time frame as well. Try to give it at least a month out, and they're going to go with the $60 strike price as well. But I'll probably say between 60 to 70 for this one, since it's so close to 60. I'm going to say between 60 and 70 would be a good option. Now on here you can see that. Between 60 to 70, you'll be paying $395 to $175 per contract. Seems to be quite a bit of those $395 contracts that are currently out there. So just keep in mind, look at that. And there are still some of the $70 ones out there as well. Now, you may be looking and say, okay, it's a lot of money to go out there. You can always buy options that are super out of the money. So like this $95 one is $34. Sometimes I'll buy things that are really far out of the money just to turn a small profit. But just bear in mind, the closer you are to a stock being in the money, the closer you are to profit. So it'll be more expensive barrier for entry wise, but if you find a good strike price that you believe it'll get to, then I would just stand firm with that one. So if you believe that it will get to 100, don't be afraid. If that's your stance on it, and you really want to get into it, don't be afraid to take a stance on that one. I know for me starting out, trading options, I couldn't afford some of these $390 $5 options, or some of these even $100 and something dollar options. So I had to stick with the $18 to possibly $40 ones, so like these, and that was even a stretch for me at some points in time. So I know for me it was definitely a learning curve until I build up my account. And I know for me building up my account, I kind of used penny stocks to build up in the short term, the very short term, and then on the rest of it, I started using um, the options for the other side. So for the other side of there, I started using options when I could afford them, and then for the penny stocks, I started using those to build up more money to be able to afford the options. So definitely just bear that in mind when starting at options. It may be a little bit more difficult to get in price wise on some of these names, but you can always get in out of the money for that section. So last on here, I want to talk about Uber, ticker sign UBER, which has kind of been off the radar for a lot of people. They were kind of hit pretty heavily by the pandemic, but I think they're still a pretty good company in the long term, in my opinion. So they do have a high of 58.71, so that's their week high. Um, they are bullish. Moving average 10 is above 50 and 100, so that's a pretty good metric for them overall. They VWAP is above the moving average 10, so both indicators are positive, so thumbs up for that one. definitely positive on both of those metrics. They will have to test this 58.71 level, but it looks like after hours they already passed it. So they are in a pretty significant bullish uptrend, ending the week at $58.58. After hours going at 47 more cents and at 59.05, so setting a new week high for this right here. So they definitely are coming off a lot of momentum for next week. So going into the news from them, we could just see on here just some of the press releases that they have, just a lot of different information that they're going to be giving. Building a greener platform in 2021, appeals, California Public Utilities Commission. Then they talk about look back at 2020, which was a pretty rough year for them. They did were able to solidify some of the Uber Eats stuff, so they definitely were able to benefit from that. But overall, I think the company is gonna try to have a comeback in my opinion, because it is a good company. So I like the company. Overall, I think that they will have a pretty significant comeback if they can, find a way to go and do this driving in a safe manner. So definitely gonna keep an eye on them. So for the option side of them, we're gonna look at Uber. So let's see if Uber loads. All right, so we're gonna go with this March 19th date. Make sure we have all strike prices, so we're gonna get a good price on there. I think for this one, um, between the 60 to 85 range will be okay in my opinion. Now you may be saying, why am I choosing a range that's that big? Why is it not a narrow range? Because I'm really not sure what exact price this will get to, but I do think there's going to be some positive momentum coming from them because they were kind of been overlooked for quite a long time. Nobody's really been talking about Uber, and the company still exists. So I mean, they didn't go bankrupt during the pandemic, so they still are a company. So I think, because people are kind of forgotten about it, that there'll be more people like, oh, okay, yeah, Uber's doing this. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Definitely will be looking into them. So I think between $60 and $85 is a reasonable range. Now, bear in mind when you're doing options, it doesn't have to make this $85 price in order for you to execute. You can execute before it gets to 85. Momentum is one of the keys. If the stock is shooting up really fast, you can have momentum where you're able to execute for a profit. So just bear that in mind. But at the time of the video, you'll be looking to pay between $375 per option to $22 per option. So that's between the $60 and $85 range with the expiration of March the 19th. All right, so looking at here, we have ticker sign GM for GM, ticker sign TWTR for Twitter, and ticker sign UBER for Uber. Drop a comment down below to which stocks you guys are looking at for the week. Hope this video is helping you all. Hope you are able to lock in some profits. If you are, make sure that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.